Good evening, and welcome to this week's special presentation entitled Powerful Performance: 3 Keys to 80% Winners During the Pandemic. My name is Glenn Tompkins, and I'm a senior instructor here at VectorVest, and it's my pleasure to give your presentation this evening. Making money in the market is the reason why you took out a subscription to this software. We have many different ways to use the program to accomplish that goal. This week, we will look at probably one of the simplest ways you can make money even during the pandemic that we're currently going through. I'm sure the title of this presentation really caught your attention, and I will walk you through how you could have attained these kinds of results. The way to make money in the market is to have a trading plan, knowing when to buy, what to buy, and when to sell. VectorVest provides you with this kind of guidance on a daily basis. It's called the VectorVest Views, and we will rely heavily on this timely information in tonight's presentation. Now, here are the 3 keys we're going to cover tonight. You need guidance you can trust. You need a proven market timing signal. You need to find the best stocks to buy. Once again, the guidance will be found in our nightly newsletter called The Views. We always update you on what went on in the market that day and prepare you for the next trading day. Market timing. We have a timing signal to help any investor in the market know when to buy and when to sell. Tonight, we're going to use a prudent timing signal. Finding the best stocks. Well, why not use our master indicator for ranking stocks? High VST stocks are stocks that have the best combination of value, safety, and timing. This is a great place to find stock. Okay, let's get into the program and start to take a look at how to put this into practice and the results it yielded. As we open up to the home page, we're going to go to the Views tab. And what we're going to do is look at the most recent current couple of months of trading. We're going to go and change the date of the views back to the beginning of July. Let's start there, July 1st. From here, we're going to read the guidance. We're going to see what this is all about. Folks, this is one of the reasons why being a subscriber to the software really pays off. So on July 1st, let's go down to what we gave as guidance. Every day, we give you the strategy, what happened throughout the day, and we talk to prudent and aggressive investors in the market. So on 7-1, prudent investors may buy stocks only if the market is rising. So what do? You go to the VectorVest stock viewer. So let's go to the viewers tab. Let's go to the stock viewer. Let's change the date back to July 1st. So we'll click on the calendar box here. Let's move this back to July 1st. All right, we're just starting off with July. And what did this guidance say? Buy stocks long only if the market is rising higher. All right, so here's the night. We get the guidance. We're going to look at the top 10 stocks, but we have to see if we had confirmation of follow through the next day. Let's go to the Graphs tab. Let's change from a stock graph to a market timing graph. Here is the market timing graph looking at our VectorVest composite. Let's go find the date of 7-1 on the graph. 6-2, 16, 6:30. There's 7-1. Let's zoom into that time period. So 7-1, the guidance says buy stocks long only if the market is rising. Overall, what did the market do the next day? It rose. All right, let's go back to the Viewers tab. Now, here's our top stocks. We would have looked at the top 10 stocks on that day, and we would have been ready to see if the market would have been having follow through and rose the next day. So we've confirmed that it did. So here's the stocks on that night. Let's do a quick test of the top 10. We're going to look at what they did from 7-1, and I'm going to go back to where we stopped for our presentation this evening. We're going to go change the date from 8-7 back to yesterday's date. That was in preparation of the presentation today. All right, so 8-6, we'll click on OK. So we're going to run the test. We're up 28.74%. That is getting the guidance on the first, having followed through the next day, buying the stocks and holding them up until yesterday. 28.74% gain, and I'm going to compare this to the S&P 500. The SPX finished up 7.49%. Holy smokes, we blew the market out of the water. All right, all 10 stocks made money, and that is an excellent outcome. All right, that's just one day. Let's close that out. Let's go to the next day and bring back up the software. Let's go to the next day. All right, let's just get prepared. Take it out to 7-2. That was Thursday. Let's go to the views. 7-2. Let's see what the guidance says. All right, that was our last day of the week, so we had a more expansive views. We'll go down, scroll down a little bit further, and let's get to the strategy section. Prudent investors should use up days to protect and or do what? Take profits. So we were saying pretty much at that time, be careful. I am not going to do anything the next day. Whether the market went up or down, the guidance says this is a good time to protect and or take profits. So with this verbiage, I'm not doing anything the next day. Hopefully that makes sense. We're going to use the guidance. Let's take this up to 7-3. All right, 7-3 was a Friday. Let's go to the next day, 7-6. Let's check the guidance. And we're going to stick with the prudent investor. Prudent investors may buy stocks long only if the market is rising. All right, let's go set up for 7-6. Go to the viewers tab, 7-6. All right, we're getting ready. We now know that it's okay to buy stocks the next day as long as the market is rising. Let's go to the graphs. Let's go find 7-6. Did the market rise? Did we get confirmation? The answer to that is no. So we would not have pulled the trigger the next day because we did not get confirmation. We're following the guidance. All right, so let's go back to the viewers tab. Actually, let's go to the views tab. Take it up one more day. Take it to 7-7. Let's see what the guidance said on that day. Prudent investors may buy stocks long only if the market is rising. All right, let's go back to the graphs. Let's go to 7-7. The guidance was given that night. Well, did we rise higher from the previous day? The answer is yes. We had follow through. All right, let's go back to the viewers. Let's move this to 7-7. That was the guidance on 7-7. We had the follow through. Let's take the stocks that we found from the night before. Let's quick test them. Top 10. Wow. 16.78%, where the SPX had gone up 6.48%. Folks, we're using the guidance that we find in the software, and we're testing it all the way up until right now. A really simple way of trading and using the software. What stocks are we using? High VST stocks. What guidance are we using? The nightly newsletter, the VectorVest Views. And what timing signal? We're going to get to that in a second, but just looking at July, going on a day-over-day basis, we're seeing that we're grossly outperforming the market. Let's try one more day. All right, let's go back to the views. Let's take it up to 7-8. Let's see what we have there. Prudent investors may buy stocks long if the market is rising. Let's go to the graphs, go to 7-8. So was the market rising the next day? No. What happened? No follow through, no action. So I did a table showing all of the days from July 1st all the way up until 8/6 of all of the results that happened only on the days that we would have taken action, that we had followed through the next day. So let's go to that slide. This is the powerful performance for the month of July. So we saw that on July 1st, we are up 28.7%, and the S&P was up 7.49%. 10 winners, no losers. We did the same thing. We saw that on July 7th, 16.68%, where the market was up 16.48%. Again, 10 winners, no losers. So instead of just doing that over and over, here's a table of only the dates where we had follow through. That's why there's some gaps in the numbers. Only the days where we found the guidance that said it's okay to buy the next day if we had follow through. Here are the results. We beat the market every single day. 8, 9, 10, 7 winners. very little losers. The average was, in that month, 13.4% doing this methodology, where the S&P only went up 4.5%. Now, I totally understand. Everyone out there is going to say, well, July was a good month. How does that help me during the pandemic? You're absolutely right. Let's get right back into the software. So let's say that you joined VectorVest and came late to the game prior to the pandemic. All right, let me put this on a 6-month graph. Here we go. Now let's talk about some market timing. I knew that the market was going up. The timing signal we're going to use is the DEW timing signal. I'm going to put that on. So you notice that we were in a DEW up call all during this time. So I just wanted to start off by showing you the simplicity behind the methodology. Let's go back to prior to the pandemic. The most recent up call prior to the down call was 2/4 of 2020. Let's talk a little bit about this timing signal. This is a great middle-of-the-road timing signal. Many of you don't want to trade on our fast signal, which is the primary wave, and many of you don't want to always wait so long on the confirmed call. Thus the reason why we use the DEW. Let's talk about how this call works. I'm going to change the graph layout to reflect the Pro Trader timing DEW. What is the DEW signal? It consists of the 3 timing signals that make it up. D stands for the detrended price oscillator. It oscillates around a line or zero line. Above the zero line is bullish, below the zero line is bearish. E stands for envelopes. We provide you with upper and lower envelopes to show you the upper and lower range of price. W stands for a 30-day weighted moving average, which is depicted by this white line. In order to get an up call, the price of the VectorVest composite has to close above that 30-day weighted moving average, and the DPO has to be positive. Now, this is a good learning point here. This doesn't happen very often, but because of the pandemic, you'll notice that the price of the composite pierced through the lower envelopes. When that happens, in order to get an up call, what needs to happen is only one of the 2 things. So in this case, to get an up call in the DEW, all I needed was either price to close above the 30-day weighted moving average or for the DPO to go positive. So this is something that does not happen very often. It happens in extreme market conditions, whether the market is way bullish or way bearish. So I wanted to bring that to the table because you look and see, wait a minute, how did we get an up call where the DPO wasn't positive? That's why, because the lower envelope was pierced. All right, so keeping all of that in mind, the last up call during just before the pandemic was on 2/4 of 2020, and that signal lasted up until 2/24 of 2020, where we got the DEW down call. So now let's do that again. Let's go back to the Views tab on 2/4 of 2020. We'll change our calendar to go back to 2/4 of 2020. All right, what was the guidance there? Prudent investors may buy stocks long if the market is rising. Well, we would have run the top VST stocks, gotten them ready that night to get prepared for the next day. Let's go to the Graphs tab. Let's go find 2/4 of 2020. Let's zoom in. Did we have confirmation the next day? Yes, we did. An up day, so we would have purchased the top 10 stocks. So let's go back to the viewers. Let's go back to 2/4 of 2020. Look at the top stocks. We would have run them again that night, gotten them ready for the next day. We did have confirmation. This time, let's still do a quick test of the top 10, but we're going to go to the ending date of the DEW down, which was 2/24 of 2020. So we're going to change our end date to go back to 2/24. There we go. That was the DEW down call. Let's click on OK. Now let's run the test. And we were down. Interesting. Well, that makes sense. That was prior to the pandemic hitting. We were down about 1/4%. Interesting, huh? Where the market was down, or the S&P 500 was down over 2%. Now, we still found a couple of stocks that went up. We had more losers, and again, with some kind of stops, we would have not taken a 37% loss. But wait a minute. Let's just use the data as we see it. Did we come out with a gain? No. Did we make more than what the market did? Did we lose more? Or actually, did we lose less than what the market did? The answer to that question is yes. So this was a short run of time in that February time period. Let's go look at the days. We only would have taken action 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days prior to the DEW down call. Let's take a look. The average, even knowing that we lost on some of these trades, we were up 1.39%, where the S&P 500 was actually down 3.5%. Now, it makes sense. We would have a little bit more losers than winners, knowing that we didn't know right then that the market was going to go into that pandemic phase, but the software, through the guidance, still gave you an average gain over that time period. All right? And guess what? Each one of the losses were less than 1% on a portfolio of 10 stocks. Easily manageable. All right, so that was a short run between February 4th and the down call on 2/24. But only the days we would have taken action would have been 5 days where we had confirmation. All right, now let's put this all into perspective. Let's go back to the graphs. So understanding, even if you came to VectorVest just before the pandemic, were we able to get you some gains during this time period? The answer to your question is yes. We got the DEW down call on 2/24. Put your portfolio in cash, sit on the sidelines. And because we like the DEW, why not wait until the next DEW up call, which would have occurred on 4/6 of 2020. Let's only do one date this time. Let's go to the viewers, and that's on 4/6 of 2020. Actually, let's go to the views. 4/6 of 2020. All right, 4/6. There we go. What was the guidance? Prudent investors may buy stocks long if the market is rising. Let's go to the graphs. 4/6. Was the market going higher? Even though it was a closed green candle, it was an up day. So we had follow through. So instead of going through each and every day again, hopefully you've got the gist of what we're looking for. Look at the views, get the guidance, get ready with your stocks the night before, and pull the trigger only if the market has follow through the next day. So let me show you the results that happened from that call on 4/6 of 2020 all the way up until right now. All right, here we go. All of those tests that we did, we had an average gain loss percentage of 18.98%. That's after the pandemic hit, coming off of the bottom, using the guidance, only going in on the days that we have confirmation or follow through. The average S&P 500 gain loss was 9%. Folks, we doubled what the market did during that time period. Our wins, losses, with all of the trades that we would have put on, we had 343 winners out of 430 trades. An 80% win rate. Now, keep in mind, would you have done this every single day? No. But if we've got more winning trades than losing trades with an 80% win rate, any one of those days that you would have followed, bought the top 10 stocks and made money up into the most current date, which was yesterday, would you have been a happy camper? Yes. This is what we call powerful performance. And a little side note, out of all of the runs that we did, there were only 3 losing baskets, only 3 losing portfolios overall, and they were all in that February time period, and all of the losses were less than 1%. Then when the pandemic hit, you sit on the sidelines and wait for your next call. So put this into one powerful bow for you. Here's our 3 keys. Guidance you can trust. That guidance that we give every night is all designed to help you make the right decisions at the right time. A proven timing signal. We're using a prudent timing signal with the DEW call. It serves as sort of like the best middle of the road timing signal to invest with, and of course, the best stocks to buy. Why not look at high VST stocks that have the best combination of value, safety, and timing? You can barely go wrong with that kind of combination, folks. If you're looking to get powerful performance, even when a pandemic is on board with you, use this kind of methodology to simply make money in the market. With that, folks, I want to say thank you for joining me for this evening's presentation. If you have any questions, please give our product support staff a call. They will be more than happy to assist you. We will have a follow-up Q&A on Monday. I look forward to having you there with any questions that you may have about the presentation. With that, folks, have a wonderful weekend. Yeah.